This is South Korea's most advanced fighter jet ever made. It looks similar to an F-22 and an F-35, but actually it is a brand new design made to become completely invisible to enemy radar. This new South Korean fighter is built around one idea: evolution. It starts as a 4.5 gen aircraft set to become a fully invisible 6th generation aircraft. Tomorrow, it could carry weapons internally, work with airborne drones, and even use a second crew member, not just as a co-pilot, but as a mission commander controlling unmanned aircraft around it. An aircraft built to become the backbone of a future 6th generation Air Force. This is South Korea building the foundation for its future Air Force. It all started as usual. South Korea needed to replace the already aging F-4 Phantom, but this time simply buying another foreign fighter wasn't enough, considering its very unstable neighbor, South Korea, didn't want to depend entirely on other countries for one of the most important weapons in its air force. So they decided it was time to build its own domestic multi-role fighter jet, with two possible directions. South Korea could consult with the Europeans and build a delta wing aircraft, or consult with the US and build one resembling an F-35. And looking at it, we already know which direction they went. But as always with big projects, politics got involved. The program stalled because it went through years of feasibility studies, questions about money and potential risk. But all that was put to rest when its very unpredictable neighbor attacked them in 2010. After firing artilleries from both sides, South Korea decided that it was indeed a good idea and the project should continue. So let's get one thing straight. The model we see right now is only the starting point for the KF-21. The whole concept is to start with a 4.5 gen multi-role fighter and with each block to upgrade it to a 5th gen multi-role fighter jet. The whole concept consists of making modular design that could be upgraded with later iterations. Let's start with the first requirement that actually makes the aircraft look very much alike the F-22 Raptor: the stealth capabilities. As the starting platform, the goal was to create a twin-engine multi-role fighter with stealth capabilities better than those of the Rafale and the Eurofighter, but less than the F-35 Lightning. So the aircraft shape was actually dictated by the stealth requirements and those angular design features you see on a stealth aircraft. It's a bit hard to believe, but when you are working on the same concept, that's why it came out looking similar to an F-22. Even the inlets are in F-22 style. Contrary to a divertor-less supersonic inlet design similar to that one of the F-35, Boramae uses the F-22 style carrot inlets with boundary layer diverters. The reason being that is a more cost-effective option instead of the F-35 inlets. Considering also a part of the stealth capabilities, the aircraft has a semi-recessed under fuselage stations. That doesn't make the aircraft fully invisible from the radar, but it does lower the radar signature as the missiles are close to the fuselage instead of hanging on pylons on the wings. But that's only half the story, as that particular space has a second feature, but more on that later. Now to the cool part, the warfare capabilities. The KF-21 Boramae was supposed to be superior to the F-16 Fighting Falcon. The requirements were 50% greater combat range, 34% longer airframe lifespan, better avionics, radar, and more effective electronic warfare. You know, all the usual stuff when you decide to develop a fighter jet. But while developing a stealthy aircraft, those actual shapes help the aircraft to increase its maneuverability. The KF-21 has a sharp-chinned forward fuselage that blends into the wing root area. It is described as fuselage shaping, but aerodynamically shine and leading-edge root extension shapes help generate vortices at high angle of attack. In simple words, it improves lift and control during aggressive maneuvering. It is a lot like a win-win situation both for stealth and maneuverability. Also, lots of internal components are from Lockheed Martin, such as avionics, operational flight program software, head-mounted displays, and aerial refueling control units. But most of the components are developed domestically by Hanwha Systems with the consultation of foreign companies. Between those are the AESA radar, infrared search and track sensor, and electro-optical targeting pod. Another component built with the help of a foreign company are the engines. Powered by two General Electric F414 engines makes the aircraft very capable. But for strategic reasons, Hanwha was awarded a contract by the South Korean government to develop its own engines for the KF-21. So now the most interesting parts of the aircraft. First, it has a two-seater variant, and that variant in particular is used manned-unmanned teaming. Basically, it means that the first pilot is in charge of the aircraft, while the second one is a dedicated mission commander for the unmanned swarm. He controls all the drones that fly with the aircraft, or how they call it, a loyal wingman. Speaking about the missiles, the ones you see on the bottom of the aircraft are European-made Meteor missiles, and that placement is not casual. It is a semi-recessed placement. There is allocated space for a future internal bay. You see, as the aircraft is built to have 3 blocks, it is developed to become a future fully stealth aircraft. The missiles are sort of in the right place, and gradually with the development of blocks 2 and 3 we will see them inside. That is a very clever compromise. It gives the KF-21 some of the aerodynamic and radar signature benefits of cleaner carriage without the cost, weight and complexity of building full weapon bays from the beginning. This is just the beginning of the aircraft, and lots of companies said that it would fail. But contrary to others, the production rate of the KF-21 Boramae exceeded 65%. The company went through ups and downs with the development and its partners. The most important partner was Indonesia, that agreed to fund 20% of the project, but due to economic struggles with payment, their share was reduced to 7.5%. 60% remained funded by the South Korean government, and the rest by domestic private companies and foreign partners. But even with Indonesia renegotiating their budget, other countries are still interested to partner with South Korea to develop this promising aircraft. Countries like Poland and UAE conducted flight tests, and Philippines, Malaysia and Saudi Arabia performed detailed inspection of the aircraft. The KF-21 Boramae is so promising that Poland expressed interest on joining the program and also acquiring an additional 32 multi-role fighters. Other partners like Saudi Arabia and UAE also expressed interest in joining the program on the development of the 5th and 6th generation multi-role fighter jet based on the KF-21. At the moment, South Korea is the only operator of the KF-21 Boramae. But with its development, more and more countries seem to express interest in purchasing this new multi-role fighter jet. So, the KF-21 Boramae is not just another fighter jet built to replace an old aircraft. It is South Korea's statement that it no longer wants to only buy advanced weapons from other countries. It wants to build them, improve them, export them, and eventually compete with the biggest names in military aviation. Right now, the KF-21 is not a full stealth fighter. It is not an F-35. It is not a 6th generation aircraft yet. But that is exactly what makes it interesting. Because South Korea did not try to build the perfect aircraft from day one. They built a platform, a fighter that can start as a 4.5 generation jet, then slowly evolve into something much more advanced. And that is why the KF-21 might be one of the smartest fighter programs in the world right now. Not because it is the most powerful fighter today, but because it was designed for what comes next. Until next time, fly high and stay curious.